Vanakkam, friends.
வணக்கம்.
This is A.R.R.M. Arun. I'm president of the Southern India Chamber of Commerce and Industry, SICCI. On behalf of SICCI, I would first of all like to wish each one of you a very, very good morning. We are extremely glad to have with us our esteemed guest for today, Mr. Gunasingh Chaladurai, who's the founder, managing director of Bell Pens Private Limited, as well as several other companies that we look forward to hearing about. I would also like to extend a warm welcome to each one of you for having joined us this morning. Before I continue, I would like to share with you that we had an extremely successful event yesterday. SICCI, as you know, is a chamber of commerce, and it is focused on multi-sectoral activities. So yesterday's event was oriented towards the healthcare industry. We held a major seminar and awards function yesterday, which was highly successful. It was participated by the government of Tamil Nadu. We had about 200 plus people participating, and we also awarded the best performing hospitals in Tamil Nadu. So this is a very good activity that we have completed yesterday, and I wanted to share the news with you. I would like to take this opportunity to appreciate the efforts of our committee chair, as well as the secretariat team led by Mrs. Bhavani Srinivasan, for the good work done towards this. Coming to our today's program, SICCI 360, as you know, has been a monthly activity ever since October of 2020 when we started it. We have since conducted 28 highly successful sessions, and today is our 29th. We are very glad to have Mr. Gunasingh Chaladurai along with us this morning. For those of you who are not aware of SICCI 360, let me share a few words. Well, quite a lot of you will be aware that as a Chamber of Commerce, we have to conduct various different kinds of events. And in each one of our events, we have our speakers across industries coming in and addressing us. But typically, we feel that these speakers restrict their address to only 20 to 25 minutes of their time. We, however, felt that our speakers have much more to offer than just their area of expertise. We thought that our speakers can share with us their all-round paths to excellence, their experiences, their inputs for the next generation, their inputs for society. That is how we came up with the concept of SICCI 360. And we've been running it successfully since October of 2020. Before I share a few more words about SICCI 360, I'd like to draw your attention to the names of two of our executives listed in the bottom of this slide. If any of you have any trouble reconnecting during the course of today's conversation, please feel free to give our executives a call and they will be able to assist you. As I was saying, SICCI 360 is a monthly series, been running since October of 2020. It is a lively discussion with eminent guests who are drawn from across all walks of life. Our guests are experts in their fields and they share with us their all-round paths to excellence. We typically look for guests who have over 3 decades of experience and contribution to their respective industry as well as to society. This, of course, is a apolitical platform. As the name uh, uh, indicates, SICCI 360, we hope to give a multidimensional perspective to our audience. The format that we follow for this session is very simple. It's a 5 section format that we follow. We first talk about our guests' expertise. We then go on to our guests' organization and the role that they play within their organization. Third, we talk about our guests' career path. Fourth, we talk about our guests' inputs for the next generation. And finally, we talk about our guests' inputs for society. We would definitely like you, our audience, to participate along with us. You are free to share your comments online, and our SICCI 360 team will be glad to moderate the points and feed it to us for further addressing. There are 2 very simple guidelines that we follow during the course of this program. Number 1 is we would like our guests to be at comfort at all points of time. And number 2 is we would like you, the audience, to gain out of your participation with us today. With those few words, I would now like to share a few words about our esteemed guest for today, Mr. Gunasingh Chaladurai. He was born in 1947 and has completed his Bachelor of Science degree. He started his career as lab apprentice and raised to the level of managing director of the 350 crore group company. His lines of business are varied, and we look forward to hearing more about that. It might be office stationery, wire products, fireworks, candles, granite, printing and packaging, cement, concrete pipes, hospitality, etc. As I said, he is the founder director of Bell Pens Private Limited. The Bell Pin Groups was established in 1952 and the brand has now grown to a national level and has offices around the country. They specialize in the field of office and school stationery products. Some of the other group companies are Bell Printers, Bell Pipes, Chelson's Packaging. Is my video visible?
Video not with.
No, sir.
It is getting interpreted.
Yeah, I got a message that my video was okay.
Sir.
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, sir. Yeah.
Okay, Bhavani, why don't I try reconnecting? In the meantime, if you can please go through Mr. Gunasingh Chaladure's profile on this slide, and then I'll come back.
Sure, sir. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. The other groups of companies like Bell Prints, Bell Pipes, Chelson's Packaging, Bell Hospitals, Bell Candles, etc. With now over 12,000 employees altogether. He is the president of Tanstia, chairman of Tanstia, TFSC, an exclusive German foundation for MSME. He is a director of state and central government bodies like TAN, SICCI, TIAC, and TNPCB. Mr. Cheladura is a former trustee and lay secretary of Tirunelveli Diocesan Trust Association, former secretary and correspondent of St. John's College and Sarah Tucker College, former president of Rotary Club of Tirunelveli. Sir has received more awards like award for producing highest wind energy in Tirunelveli district for the year 1994 from Union Ministry of Energy. Best Rotary President Award for the year 1996-1998 with 14 citations. Export Merit Award CAP EXIL for the year 2000. Export Merit Award for CAP EXIL for the year 2003. Export Merit Award for CAP EXIL for the year 2005. Award from ISRO towards major contribution to defense and aerospace industries in the year 2008, and many more. With these words, we welcome Sir again for the conversation. I guess we need to give few more minutes for our president to join. Please bear with us, like participants.
Now.
So we can see you, but we couldn't able to hear you, sir.
Yeah, Bhavani, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir, I can.
Yeah. So, Mr. Gunasingh Chaladure, can you
Yes,
see me and hear me now?
Yeah, very clear.
Okay. So let's continue further. My first favorite question, Mr. Chaladure, is இப்போ ரொம்ப நாளா வந்து எல்லா சேம்பர்ஸும் அவங்க வந்து மெட்ரோஸ் நோக்கி தான் இருப்பாங்க. ஃபார் இன்ஸ்டன்ஸ் சென்னை நோக்கி தான் இண்டஸ்ட்ரீஸ் ஃபோக்கஸ் பண்ணுவாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி தான் போயிட்டு இருக்கும். But SICCI வந்து we are very keen to be able to take industry and societal development across the state, across the region, so that there is inclusive growth all around, which is why we specifically selected your candidature, Mr. Gunasingh, for today's program, because you've been a significant player in industry in Tirunelveli and established a wide spread network. So we are very glad that we've been able to connect with you. நீங்க திருநெல்வேலியிலேருந்து நீங்க இப்போ ஒரு நல்ல பொசிஷனுக்கு வந்திருக்கிறீங்க. What has been the reason for your success? What have been some of the major issues that you have faced? You are a second generation entrepreneur. உங்க ஃபாதர் ஆரம்பிச்சார் இந்த பிசினஸ். உங்களை எப்படி இன்ஸ்பயர் பண்ணாரு இந்த பிசினஸ்க்கு?
Thank you, President, dear Mr. Arun, and Vice President Shivashankar, and my senior Vice President Arun Alagappan, Secretary Vinod Sharma, and dear Bhavani. It's a wonderful opportunity for me to disseminate all the inputs, pitfalls, what I have learned in my life for the past 17 years to share with you. Thank you very much. And I also thank the audience who are with us today to attend this important 360-degree 29, Section 29, being hosted by SICCI. I know SICCI is playing a very vital part in the growth of the industries and commerce for the last over 100 years, centuries. And I should appreciate the past, the founder chairman, the past presidents, and all the stalwarts of the executive committees members for having taken up this task of continuing the best, one of the best chamber throughout India. So let me go to the subject now. And my profile has been well read. Thank you so much, Bhavani too. And the subject I deviated into expertise, organization role, career path, next generation, and society. And few of them I am well prepared. Maybe the time factor has to be maintained. Sir, I am the second generator entrepreneur. I am not the first generation. I didn't start with anything. I was very comfortable, living in a comfortable life. It's okay. It is my father, Sri Yadathra. He is no more. He passed away in 2001. He was the first generator entrepreneur. He was born in a small village known as Idayangudi. Idayangudi is like its English name is Shepherd Ho. It is in Scotland even now. So he was born in 1916. And the Idayangudi is very famous for the Tamil scholar, the Reverend Dr. Robert Caldwell, a native of Scotland, and who worked for the people of nativity, to the downtrodden people, and passed on good culture, education throughout the villages nearby. It's a hamlet of small village, mostly climbers, Palmyra tree climbers. Maybe my grandfather would have been there, climbers. So there were no much of schools there. So people were migrating to Sri Lanka for working tea estates, those areas. So a lot of tea estates people used to work, everybody knows well. And even now you can see to Kodaikanal or Ooty or any southern top hills manufacturing tea or rubber or estate. These people will be settled down for 3 or 4 generations. So since Sri Lanka was there, we had a connectivity through my father's friend, and he was sent to the school to study at the age of 12. To do his junior Cambridge, that is 8th standard. So since 1993, he was working there. So by the time the first ethnic group started removing some South Tamils down to India, so people were rushing back. And my father was the one who returned in 1933 and 34 at the age of 18. So the language of English is very high in Sri Lanka. Even now people speak a very sophisticated dictionary language, UK language. So that is English language. Very vocabulary is very good, very grammatic, and he was a good speaker also. So he took a chance of getting a job in somewhere in Sivagasi, where there are a lot of industry. Tirunelveli only agriculture. So in Sivagasi, he took out a small match factory and got employed there for the for the salary of 12 rupees per month. It was 12 rupees. 12 rupees. Then he was working for 5 years. So of course, those you don't have a union or anything. So he asked for a raise of 2 rupees. Sir, please give me 2 rupees more. I want to continue your job. And it's all God's luck, or whatever it is, all for good. He turned around and he left the job. The management said, we are not prepared to give the 2 rupees increase. So he quit the job and started a small match industry of his own, everything made by hand. And even he has banned 2 of the fingers, and the tip of the fingers would have been banned during the trials. So he did a small factory selling in streets and all this going on. And he was very talented in his marketing and everything. And seeing these matches, those days matches are to be imported only from Burma. The British companies were running some match industries, Sweden and Japan. And of course, UK also making some matches. So there are a lot of challenges for the quality. These are all mostly semi-mechanized made. So the match industry slowly started. Then the diversification came for fireworks industry, because the chemicals are almost same, chloride, sulfur, and all this. So the fireworks was in 1942. He partnered with a gentleman known as NRK Rajaratnam, who is the real founder of Standard Fireworks Limited. He had a match industry. Later, it was found with another company as Standard Fireworks in a partnership firm in 1942, and where we were making only Bengal matches. Bengal matches, it is a colorful match. When you strike, it will be a green color, and another set will be a red color, something like that. It's called Bengal matches. And that was the things going on. Competitive was there. By the time my father studied a lot of books, reference chemistry, English books were available plenty. We didn't have internet or anything. So he used to import books and get all this he had a thorough knowledge of importing. What is to be imported, what are the rules and regulations, and what are the restrictions, what are banned items. He was very thorough. Any import reference, people will come to Father Annachi, they call him Annachi, AC Annachi, his name is A. Chaladrai. Please guide me, can I import this, can I, what is the duty payable, how to reduce import duty, I mean, in an ethical way. So you will say, ethical way, you can do anything and don't do under invoicing. That's the advice he was giving right from the, even for weights and measurement, he used to be very strict. So he developed knowledge like this. Later, the fireworks industry started. And by the time the Chinese war came somewhere in 1962, and there was a big demand came from defense to make training grenades, hand grenades, smoke screen, and mock explosive, delayed fuses for the army, and wind-proof matches, and distress signals lights for Navy, and gunpowder and safety fuses for arms and ammunition factories in Turkey. So during Chinese 62, the Shivaji Standard Forest played a main role in supplying these items. He was the master of this important, what do you call the business. So we had a very good relations with the DRDO, all this, and with all this military personnel, and the industries was thriving. That is a startup point where the profit was went to very high, and naturally the management with other directors said it is diversified. So we got diversified to main industries. But at the same time, we are 11 children, those days we were 11. So, so actually the studying is not, has to be done, the schooling. So everybody was sent to different schools and most of them stayed. I have stayed in a hostel 19 years. I never stayed in that home to the age of standard 1 and up to completion of BSc degree I studied. I stayed only in the hostel. In Tuticorin, in Tinnevelly, in Chennai, and 3 cities, right from St. Xavier's College, these are the things. So we got a very good experience when we stay in the hostel, lot of culture and, plus minus we learn from them. So then, of course, for this, you need a lot of chemicals for this fireworks industry. So that times everything has to be imported. So you were searching for technology, it's not available. UK turned down, USA turned down. Then Europe, we planned to study in Europe, and a batch of people went to Europe, directors. And that time it's a license Raj. Anything import, you have to have a license. So one gentleman said, Dhanasera Pandian, who is no more, gentleman, he is having a license to make this explosive powders and other things. But getting a license itself, it's a big task. So this license was there with him. Then we thought we'll join him, and we made a team together. And very particular, the shareholders were all consumers. That is important thing. Many fireworks industry made a shareholders, and majority shareholders were the 3 family groups, including our group. So this how the companies were formed, and this went apart, and that's a story going on still now. And all the earlier partnership firms, totally converted into limited companies for better administration. And of course, my other question came, and about the windmill, how do you have the windmill produce the renewable energy? So, we are the first one to, I'm very proud to say that, and it is true that we had invested in windmill in the year 19, I think in Karnataka was CM, and somewhere about 30 years back, 30 years, almost our windmills are 27 years old, and you should be somewhere in 98. So everyone knows that it is impossible to survive without electricity, and Tamil Nadu were facing severe electricity shortage, average 60%. I know we had a power cut up to 100% where you have to close down the industry for 2 weeks, for 3 weeks. And companies like SPIC, everybody knows this happening. Running of diesel sensors was not available. Solar energy, nobody knows about solar energy. So only option either to get a government run power or to produce your own power. And when this was going on, the wind study was going on, and my father took up a initiative to build the wind energy with a team of directors. Then we contacted one company, NEG. It is in Holland, Nordic Energy Group. Everybody knows. Later it became NEG Mycon, and again it became a Mycon, and now the company is still there. But so we imported 10 units of 250 kilowatt. But in 1990, nobody knows what is it. So after erection, Hundreds of people every week come and see what is a windmill, sir. We want to climb up and see how it rotates and all this. It was a miracle-like thing. So now, hundreds of companies are invested. All the group companies of SICCI are there investing. It's a good energy, clean energy, and a lot of encouragement is coming there. That is one of the good things the company has done, and many have followed. Now we invested about 100 windmills in throughout India, in Tamil Nadu, Rameshwaram, and even in Pitambur, Indore district. So these things are going on well. And part of our directors also, Pioneer Wincon, they are also manufacturers and the supplies of erection, commissioning, everything they do, windmills as well as solar. So it's a totally a diversified business. And I gained expertise in the manufacturing sector, especially from their question asked, how did you gain expertise in manufacturing sector? Especially from pin to satellite fuel. It's an interesting question. Because the group companies have different articles, continuous, we believe on manufacturing. We never had a trading business. So father, every week he will make a design something, put it on the table. It can be a firehouse, anything. Appa, you do this. Then he put the market something. This is good in the market. So he says he speaks 11 languages. I should admire. He was in the marketing. So he speaks English, Tamil, Sinhalese, Gujarati, Punjabi, Hindi, and Malayalam, and 7 languages very fluently. You can scold even in these languages. Such a skill of spoken English, spoken languages skill he had. So he identified a lot of markets to continue one by one. So he started the smallest and the smallest product, paper pin, paper clips, staple pins, safety pins, ID clips, the rubber band, the male latex condoms, and slowly went to paper tubes, corrugated boxes, printed cartons, laminated pouches, aluminum foil containers, matches, fireworks, reinforced ISI concrete pipes, autoclave aerated concrete blocks, and chemicals and derivatives including non-ferrous metal powders, and all kinds of solid fuels for defense missiles and aerospace rocket. Besides, we are also serving if you're running a chain of hotels and restaurants in Tamil Nadu. So this all done in the span of different years, not in a day. So this experience gained in the fire industry were developed explosive made us to make a solid fuels. So I was witness. There were only 25 people invited to witness Sandaraya 1, and me and my wife would participate in that event. It was an excellent event. When the takeoff with the blasting sound came, I was very much delighted, very happily. Everyone is clapping, and it was very interesting. Now second had a failure, and not because of the fuel, maybe some direction monitoring devices, and then the third one is still alive. I hope it lands down, the rover lands down the moon. So part of the play to pay by the MEPCO is very much important. That's why I want to.
Mr. Chadore, in 1978, you had received an export promotion award, and this was for breaking the world monopoly of China in the export of fireworks. In fact, you and your group are one of the first businesses to understand how working with China can be effective and how we can engage with them effectively. How do you see India's relationship evolve with China, and what advice would you give for businesses to do business with China?
Yes, sir. It's a good question. The Export Promotion Award was received by breaking the monopoly of China, Hong Kong, and Taiwan related fireworks industry. This was a tough task. There was a hell of a problem in shipping these goods, which fell under the hazardous goods category. In 1970, first 5 containers were loaded into the Cochin port for US customer by bicentennial celebrations. It was turned down after an interval of 2 weeks. There was no storage facilities awaiting for shipment for such hazardous goods. After having a personal meeting with the Prime Minister Morarji Desai, our father met, and with the guidance of Sri George Fernandez, who was the then Minister for Shipping and Transport, Government of India, the consignments was redirected to Chennai port, and the export continued to grow several times. Hence, the company was awarded by the Export Promotion Council in the 1978, 78. For the last 8 years, continuous performance. That is the reason we got it. And the next question is, you are one of the first business to enter into China. Of course, my first visit was 1996. I went alone. Took a risk of traveling there, because It's very much remembered time, good experience I have 27 years ago. Entering into China was a big challenge for me, a fully unknown country for me, without spoken English, with a different culture. I managed somehow. All road signs, tickets, menu cards, banking system are all in Chinese language. Even the numbers, the outsiders entering the country, no rights to bring any foreign currency undeclared. And if so, it should be changed into a local rambin, which is not a currency, but it was a 4-inch by 2-inch tickets. It's a small ticket like booklets. The conductor gives you, tear it, and it's such small form of paper tickets, very cheap paper tickets. So this in various denomination, color coded. And all hotels, shops, restaurants, transporters only accept these money tickets. So moreover, the passenger has to declare in writing the place of stay, your visiting places, the host name, the data visit, all these are there in the inputs. So the economy is very poor in 95%, lot of piggery, villages, those 1 or 2 buildings, maybe 3 or 4 floors, mostly military buildings were there. And in the corner of a road signal, if you stand, actually thousands of bicycle crawling and 2 to 3 black flag cars with the flag, mostly with the military personnel as hits are flying through. That was the condition. First, I made a visit related to a wire exhibition. It was a Chinese wire and trade exhibition in Shanghai. That was our first visit. But second visit was in 2001. So in 2001, when I saw that, there was a remarkable change of entire scenario in China, maybe in infrastructure within 5-6 years, high development. And we are little delayed. I know that funds were flowing to all military gates. Military gates took over the company. They were the chairman of the companies, and they did the business with employing every people. And there are a lot of provinces. The China more than 30-40 provinces, and each one by one they are developed. First they considered the Shanghai, then they went to Guangzhou, then they went to Jingzhou. So that step by step development, unlike we concentrate only on Madras city, this development was there in every place in a span of 1 year. Very fast development because money was pouring from plenty of labor and lot of industrial estate, export zone, economic zone, everything came up. And labor rules were much relaxed those days also. And 24-hour work culture also in all plants, especially in construction industries, were fully permitted. You could see a Chinese guys getting up at 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock morning, hammering the ceiling or whatever, centering work, fixing the scaffolding. You can see in the morning at 6 o'clock work start. It may be noisy near your hotel, but they have continued to do that even now. So employment, the commodity production was so high and the cost came down. They were able to do the tremendous export. A lot of foreign know-how came to them free of cost just for the saving of the labor cost. People have invested in tons of money. Even now, Taiwan, who is a opponent, we see who is not well recognized China, they have also invested in a lot of companies, including the chip industries. So that is what the Chinese products, or you can see throughout every home at your home, you will have, or in office, one product of Chinese will be there. That is, everything. And the relation with China, we build up. Of course, we have some bad relations with China in the line of control, mostly in the northeast. But of it, as any country has, China is not an exemption. So Indian traders make big money about import of goods. But that's, we may always make fly by night or quick money, and a lot of people imported cheap goods. Many goods came under invoice. I know that. It was very competitive for every genuine manufacturer could not compete the Chinese import. So of course we are top in our IT sector and software development, and China can nowhere compete nearby because of lack of English and mathematics. So that is how we climbed to the ladder of the export and the GDP growth. And China, it's got the largest consumer and households, food, petroleum products. The consumption is very high. So even the export domestic market has become very high, and China lives by China means volume. See, everybody, if you ask for a quotation, he never says how many kilos or how many tons. The guy says, the sales fellow says, how many containers? Then I say 1 container. He says it's too small. If you take 5 containers, I can give you a discount. This is how they negotiate. So that we go by that every. So China.
How do you find doing business in Tirunelveli compared to, say, doing business in Chennai? Is there a difference in business culture and business moving forth? How are other businesses in Tirunelveli as well?
Sir, Chennai, we have a factory in SIPCOT, Kiterva Kandigai, that's recently started through the AIC block. It's about 100 crore investment. That is a fully automated plant. That is also part of the machine import from China. Germany and indigenous machine is also there and fully automated. But getting a manpower is very difficult for a blue collar job in anywhere, sir. Even here, I find very difficult. So we employ a lot of women for the small automation, small where you don't give heavy works, mostly in the office. And we should 65% or 70% of our Tirunelveli working among 600 people are women. We're very happy to announce this. And even at the age of 60, 65, 70, they continue to work, get all the benefits, including their gratuity, benefit, everything we give. We cannot lose our experience hand. So they're very docile, very understanding, and all this, and that's why. But getting educated, everybody need running for a white collar job. We make 100. There is an interview for we conduct for 10 people for a, what you call for a fitter or a turner in a floor shop, and some hundreds of people apply and 50 call for interview. Everybody accept, and next day they 1 day work he vanishes, and somebody never returns. Somebody works for 10 days and go away. That is too hot. So the luxury of work culture has come, and dress code, they don't want to have a dirty job. I all worked in the floor shop. I used to work in the floor. I should say the TVS group was doing all the workshops in the floor, right from the floor. My hands to be oiled. That's the culture I learned. And I know even a part of the machinery, we have about 800 machinery, small parts, any parts I could see on the roadside or within the factory, I can pick and say, this is a part of the machine, go and fix it. That's why we learned all this by not by word and mouth, by physical work. So the getting a employability is there, but getting a suitable employer is very difficult. And what cost is very high. So people, some are fancy. See, I talked to a driver in we pay about 15,000 rupees for a driver. Minimum wage comes for a starting salary. In Madras, he may get 25,000, but the cost is not lucrative for him because he has to spend over his family, 2 sides. He will take a accommodation individual, his daily batas, expense, all this comes. So cost is were very competitive, but getting an employer suited. That's why the skill development is coming out now. The school level and the government is building non-Mudalva and all the scheme. We are also Chamber is coping having the Tamil Nadu government to do all this. Let us see how this goes. So this
We now move to the second section on your organization and role. So this question is from an audience, Mr. Palaniappan Tyagarajan, who's director in Ayyappan Engineering. Mr. Palaniappan, please go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Palaniappan. Please go.
Sir, you told that you are the second generation entrepreneur. So
yes,
would like to know what was the first job and what was the learning experience from that, sir?
Yeah, my first job, of course, I finished my degree in 1966 and my bachelor degree. I have nothing to do business. I did my zoology with a chemistry ancillary, and I joined as an apprentice in a chemist in 1966 in our group concern. It's called MEPCO, Metal Powder Company, which is located at Tirumangalam. And I paid a salary of 2,050 per month. And I used to stay inside in a small room within the lab. There's a room size maybe, I should say 16 by 12 by 10. That's the room size I used to stay. It was a folding, what you call as a roller bed. And the daytime it is used as seating, and nighttime we roll as a, but that is why I was staying fully, getting my food from outside and eating from the hotels and restaurant. That's the experience I had. Then in 1968, I joined my company business after 2 years of work there. I joined that thing, all the erection of machineries, German engineers used to be there. So erection was going on machineries of the imported machine, all this, because the technology transfer was there. So that 2 years was a very vital period where I could learn a lot of international understanding with the engineering skill and all this. But I could able to observe and gain through my hard work and vision. And in 1968, I joined the Belpins Group Company, which is a 100% family concern. And there also salary was fixed by my father is only 600. I was not permitted to draw more. The thing is, 69, I got married. Then he gave me 750. This is how it went on those days. So the entire, I looked at only the production for 5 years. I didn't concentrate anything. I used to wear a khaki with the shoes and go to the production level. And I never step into the office. I never step into the office for any reason. Yeah, not even for a phone call. So I used to sit the floor and do all the technical related. I learned, I studied, and we built lot of special purpose machines related to the wire and wire products. This is how I went on. And because the employment strength was very less that time, only 50 people were working there. So slowly now it has crossed 600. So meantime, my father said, I think he would like to import some machinery. He's approached NSIC, National Small Industry Development Corporation, because we have to get clearance from this, all the Inspector Raj. You know, if you write, you will have a steel authority in Delhi. You have to, if you have a cement, you have to get a cement authority of India Limited. So a lot of restrictions were there. Somehow you have to get a license, then import. Then the price was exorbitant. Duty was 360% for machinery. In spite of that, he offered me to go to Germany and visit. So I took a travel of 21 days at the cost of the supplier of the machinery, because spending is very much restricted in my company. So he took a free flight ticket, but I didn't know the hotel stay would be free. So I got a small dollars, sent from different sources. I don't say unauthorized sources. And I was keeping it, not spending it. But luckily the guy said when I let down, dear Mr. Gunasingh, all your expenses till you go return is mine. Don't spend any Deutschmark. It was a mark, those days. You don't have a euro. And keep it safe. And you can take anything of you want when you return back. That was the guidance given. So I was a guest of those companies, and we imported some machinery for pins, clips, staples, safety pins, staples, lot of machineries we imported. And then we gained knowledge. We modernized those system. It was not keeping up mostly the electrical, the current amps fails, it's all failed. Then I took charge of manufacturing machineries. So we built about 600 machineries of this type of machineries for various of our own design. We had to design these machineries, we gained on the knowledge, and we had a very able system of workmen who are not well, just not even, we never appointed a diploma holder. They were all just ITI or below, experience from outside. They need all this. But this long experience I gained from the company, from the production system, accounting system, finance control, civil and mechanical related works, competitive purchasing, sales and marketing, export documentation, handling tax structures, and finally the important human relations with the employees concerned, as well as a social responsibility. So after 30 years in this business, the family business, 100% family, I took over the presidency of TANSIA, that Tamil Nadu Small and Tiny Industries Association, Chennai.
Mr. Gunasingh, before we go to that,
Yes.
Is there any particular reason you decided to manufacture pins out of all items? And எதனால நீங்க பெல்லுன்னு பேர் வச்சீங்க கம்பெனிக்கு?
That is a good, the bell, that is a very important question. The bell, the bell is it makes a lot of sound for good and bad, for a marriage, for a death, for entertainment, for anything. If you are calling for caution, the varieties of bells. In fact, I have collected about 2,000 bells and kept it at my house as a collection throughout the world. It's a small, like from antique bells to everything in a small size, maybe of metal, glass, everything. The bell name, this came from my father's mother, my grandmother. Her name is Nesamani Amman. So then the money stands for bell, that, not the currency. So that is the reason that even my father, when he built a house, he made a name Lovelyn Bell. Lovelynpel, that is single L. Because my father believed in 2 L's. That is very important, sir. Isn't sir? His name is Cheladurai, 2L. My mother's name is Lily, 2L. The brand name is Bell, 2L. So we also name the companies like Chelsen's Wire Mill, CHELL, something like Maxwell companies, something, our company. So I believe in that. We have been successful. Maybe that's a different culture. Then later I joined as a virtue of this post, they were given a director post of the Tamil Nadu Electricity Board, Tamil Nadu Police and Gutter Board, small and SICCO. Now it's called TANSITCO, and and Tamil Nadu Electricity Board. Then NABARD. There was a member of the National Bank of Agriculture Development, NABARD, and Reserve Bank of India, Southern Consultative Committee, all came because the words of. So little bit of more knowledge gained. Later in 2000, I became the managing director of the same company. I was working in 1966. So I became the managing director. 10 years, I continued to be manager for 2 years because of the age restriction of 60 plus. I continue to be a director even now, but it is all run by professional CEOs as in major companies are doing. So there is there is a very good understanding between the directors, no egos, and we have got a very good staff, CEOs, and all goes by hierarchy, reporting to whom, and chief financial officer, everything. And we go through headhunters, and without caste and caste religion, we appoint a good.
Actually, that was my next question, Mr.
Yes, sir.
Yes, being in such a diverse set of industries and being successful in each one of these, what has been some of the success factors that have enabled you to continue to be successful across industrial sectors?
So diversification is a very must for business, sir. We cannot continue to do the same job for a long time. You can expand, but there are restrictions. So it's always better not to rely on one source. So even in investments, you can say the money, there are options like share market, mutual fund, fixed deposit, different bonds, real estate, insurance. So everybody invests in even when you're putting even gold. And so the commodity producer, we look for a different product in the market. What are the best thing we can make in the market? What is the market share? And we make a survey for at least 1 or 2 years. Then finally we conclude, okay, this is and making small investment is not viable nowadays. So there's a collective, anything less than 100 crore investment is not viable these days, we believe. So big investment has to come, and through that, the direct investment is there. And we don't have, we are very all closely held companies. We don't have a public share. There is not a publicly owned company. One company normally 2-3% share will be more than 97% is controlled by directors, families, 3 families. And this management concern is hierarchy. The designation, we give a proper designation, clear instruction, what to do, what not, and it is a good thing that. And even after retirement 58, we continue and keep the retired person because they are all well versed with all what they are doing. Because now people can go up to, even I'm 76 fit to talk to you with August Forum. So even after 58, there's no retirement. You can continue if you want. You get a benefit as per the industrial establishment rules, and you pay everything, you graduate, whatnot, everything, and then you continue. And we at least we give the annual increment, the incentives, the bonus, the insurance, everything continues. So I remember that in Bell Company, a small MSME, I had a lady who has worked 65 years. He joined at the age of 15. Those days, no child labor, no. So at the age of, she was getting the PF. He was in the PF fund scheme. It came in the Hindu paper front line and the front page with a color photograph. Here is the oldest lady in India getting the PF benefit. It was very, literally I cried, it's very, I hugged that lady, and she's no more. Her name is Apurva Mammal. Still from inception, she was there. Very good. Because majorly we employ women, sir, women, because we can delegate jobs to women. They're in production now. They're in packaging.
Honestly, if you look at it, SICCI is a chamber, and you will also head the Tirunelveli Chamber of Commerce. The chambers of commerce these days are not effectively engaging with their industry members. We realize that as a chamber, and what we are trying to do is encourage that in whatever way that we can within SICCI. How do you think the chambers of commerce can engage with the members in today's context and play a greater role towards economic development?
Yes, President, it's a very important question nowadays. Running a chamber is not it's a very difficult task nowadays. You depend on few people and running it. The heads are doing the very good job. People sacrifice their time, life, and money for this. I know that. And my request to the members of the chamber should, everyone should contribute to the successful act of the chamber, not the team leaders or every individual. It can be a small task or anything, it should be given. And he has been given, I know that. It can be a trade or any professional or all in the chamber. So they can contribute very well individually, and they can advise the chambers what to do, what not to do, all that they can do that. And that is very important. And because chamber is the one who makes all the firm policy to safeguard our industry. So it may be a selfish nature for the people who are engaged there as a member. So they should, the others should understand that our chamber is working for the common cause, not for individual. If I run a company for PIN, I don't go for exemption of the exemption duty for PIN or fireworks. We fight, but we fail sometimes. But this is a common cause. We do that, and that is the reason we work for through the chamber. All this, so every call from the chamber at such an association like SICCI, when taking call, the government answers and redress some of the grievances faced by the chamber. I could see that. And thank you, chambers, for all the meetings. But nowadays, the chamber has to have changes, sir. You should now look back. When you say 360-degree, tier 2 cities also comes under one of the degrees. It can be 180 or 90, I don't know. And tier 3 also comes into. So you can have some delegation meetings with B2B meetings in various, taking them to various countries. You know, you will be doing it, I know that. So people are shunned to move to such areas because of hesitation. Maybe the spoken English or the inferiority complex. This has to overcome. You know, you may be from the village, doesn't matter. Nowadays, speak. Everybody knows, they're very knowledgeable, even youngsters. So we can do concentrate more investment opportunities in the tier 2 cities because there is an abundant land at lower cost, excellent connectivity by air and road, and surplus electrical power, youth manpower, high literacy level among the youth. So by this migration of labor can be avoided. The cost of living will be better in the local villages or cities than staying in a tier 1 city. So it is advisable to conduct a road show in this in the year 2000. This will be better.
Yes, very good. I'm glad you brought up the point on delegations, Mr. Gunasingh, because for your benefit as well as the benefit of the audience, I'd like to share that from the year 2000 till the year 2020, SICCI had taken 4 delegations. Over the 20 years, we have taken 4 delegations abroad. But just over the last year, which is from July 2022 till June of 2023, we have changed that and have now been taking 1 delegation every quarter. So we have taken 4 delegations so far. We started to Thailand in July of last year. Then in October, we took a delegation to the Czech Republic. In January, we took a delegation to Israel. And then last month, we took a delegation to France. So we are very glad that we brought that synergy between us and industry to be able to take these delegations abroad. And I would like to open out this forum to the audience as well. If any of you, for your individual businesses, you would like to travel abroad to get to know more technology or whatever transfers that can be done, please do join us, and we'll be most glad to keep you informed. SICCI is leading a student delegation to Thailand next month, and then we are also leading 2 more delegations in October, one to Italy and the other to Indonesia. So if any of you are interested, you're more than welcome to reach out to SICCI. Having said that, Mr. Gunasingh, I'd like to move to the third section, which is on career path. And we have a student, Miss Lumina, who's doing a 3rd year civil engineering at SVCE. She would like to ask a question of you. Lumina, please go ahead, and if you can please turn on your video. Bhavani, is Lumina online?
Hello, sir.
Hello, ma.
We cannot see you, Lumina.
Sir, I can't open the camera now.
Okay, please go ahead.
I can hear you, Lumina.
Yes, sir. Have the COVID affect your business, sir? As we know, you are in a variety of business. We assume that if one suffered, another would have been held. And please let us know how you manage this situation, sir.
COVID, it's first time a pandemic because we have never seen a war. People would have been seen much of wars before 1942, before pre-independence. But other epidemic or calamity like flood we have seen, but it's such a vast epidemic and pandemic event has happened in this century. So it's a very cautious effort everybody was taking. So in our case, almost many industries we didn't shut down, but we reduced the production because there were no consumption, there were no buyers, exports were not there. But I know there were only two industries thriving. One is the pharma industry. The second is the chemical industry. These two made a tremendous business during COVID because for even in European companies or Western Asia or South Asia, there are not manufacturers there. People opt for importing these. So you know very well, right from COVID injection. So all the pharmacies were allowed to work for more time. But that was the most essential community is food and pharma. So at least for a living, you should continue to do this to manufacturing. So agriculture was encouraged sector and also the pharma industry encouraged and related chemicals also for these industries were so well supported. Where, you know, even the schools, people could not pay salary. The schools were 100% shut down, and it was a ban to move on the streets. 140 were implemented by the police force, home ministry. So all these industry, many industries suffered. Many have turned to mostly MSMEs are shut down almost. I think about 70% MSME has gone bankrupt. And I know that being a member of the association, and slowly they are coming up. So getting a loan is a big risk. But this insurance also, even for personal insurance, because I was affected in the COVID. I don't name the insurance company. My total bill came for 6.25 lakhs, but I could get only 1.15 lakhs. Nobody paid. I had to shell out. Oh, this happened to all the companies even. Company means, I mean the employees, not only the employer, the employees even. They all suffered. So you have to, what I did, I paid a month's salary in advance, a 2 months salary in advance, and slowly deducting 10% for 12 months. That was the only thing, good thing you could do that. But the 100% depending on this daily wages, employees has to be fed. At least the basic need has to be there. As far as the schools are concerned, fees were not paid. So we sidelined. The government said don't pay because we don't run. So we took up online teaching in the school level. But industry level, you can't do that. You know, IT industry can do that. And they have been doing it very well. All IT, thanks to the new technology of IT transformation and IT information. And that was very good supportive for all the companies. But finally paying out payments, everything, and a lot of banks also face problem of IPs, you know, non-performing assets are much rising. Normally a bank should permit to 1 or 2%, it's gone to 6%, 8%. That was alarming. So many banks have even faced these type of problems. Tell me, Ma, anything else?
Yeah, the next question, Mr. Guru Singh, is you've been in the firecracker industry for a long time. இப்போ நிறைய விதத்துல வந்து ஃபயர் கிராக்கர் இண்டஸ்ட்ரியை வந்து பேன் பண்ணும். அவங்க அந்த ஏன்னா எக்கச்சக்கமா பொல்யூஷன் இருக்கு, ஒர்க்கர்ஸுக்கும் எக்கச்சக்கமா பாதிப்பு இருக்கு, அந்த மாதிரி பேச்செல்லாம் போயிட்டு இருக்கு. ஸோ அதனால இப்போ நம்ம முன்னெல்லாம் நம்ம பார்த்தோம்னா ஃபயர் கிராக்கர் இண்டஸ்ட்ரி வாஸ் டூயிங் வெரி வெல், பட் நவ் இட் ஹஸ் கம் டவுன் significantly. How do you think we should address this industry, and what do you think should be done towards green crackers and making this industry a sustainable industry?
Sir, ஃபயர் கிராக்கர்ஸ் வந்து ஒரு லாங் ஸ்டோரி தான் சார். வாட் வி மேக் ஃபார் 300 days இஸ் சோல்ட் இன் 30 days and is burnt in 3 days. இதான் அந்த ஸ்டோரி. சிம்பிளா சொன்னா சரியா? இட்ஸ் வெரி இன்ட்ரெஸ்டிங். ஸோ மை ஃபாதர் யூஸ் டு சே, நீங்க காசை கரியாக்குன்னு சொல்லுவாங்க, நாங்க கரிய காசாக்குறோம். திஸ் இஸ் த டிஃபரன்ஸ் ஆஃப் மேக்கிங் a fireworks, giving lakhs and lakhs of people employment. See, fireworks now we think only money, you know, it's related to all the chemical industries. There are more than 150 chemicals going into this. So chemical industry is thriving. There are more than consumer industries, other consumer items like paper, twine, jute, glue, adhesive, printing, loading, unloading, logistics, storage, all this comes into. And so but you connect all this, the employment ratio, I mean, non-employment is increasing up, it has increased. So there's an alarming, of course, I don't say pollution, it can be hazardous when you are very close to the fireworks and the smoke is less, it's okay. See, we are cooking for the, my mother used to cook for, I remember for 30 years in a firewood, and she was living up to 84. When my grandmother was 93, the smoke kitchen. We didn't have a gas stove those days. Nobody made an high and cry. We didn't have that. But I don't support this blindly about this fireworks manufacturing anything. But fireworks in industry, which everyone, it is, sir, fireworks industry, there are many fireworks. It makes sound, makes light, it makes colorful textures. So these are the fireworks and some shapes. These fireworks industries are so slowly handmade, now entered with Chinese, and recently you have seen a China, I think about after my visit, a lot of changes in the fireworks. All the fireworks that goes to the aerial shots, about 200 meters up, and it is get blasted or whatever it is. So only the sky is getting literally scammed compared to when you compare to the jet fuel, jet fuel that eliminates 10,000 liters every flight. And there are always 1 million flights flying every time. When you say now there are 100,000 lakhs of flights are in the sky, I mean, emitting the fuel gas. It is not a green gas, it's fuel gas. So this type of aerial shots, over 300 meters can very cleanly permitted. And we have tremendous orders now for fireworks. There's a short supply because when laws and rules were tightened, many were making fireworks without a proper formulation. The formulation is it's not. We may say we need a chemist to do that. There are 20-25 chemicals going to one single fire. We can't take gunpowder like this or aluminum powder and put on a fireworks. It will give a different effect. It has to burn. It has to produce heat. It has to lift up to a height. It has to emit colors and slowly come down with lesser smoke. All these has to be given without toxic. So these have been slowly developing, and we have called it as a green crackers. And we are already booked for the whole Diwali, sir. We are happy to say that. So people are encouraging. Some team can work against this, but people are very much encouraging. And we make safe fireworks where you can light and come out the 100 shots, 400 shots, 600 shots will go up directly without going nearby. We can avoid the individual fireworks lighting where you get accidents. So these things we come out and we try to do that. So we are in the market, very good market now. Good.
Our next question is from another student, Miss Gokula Priyan, doing her 4th year mechanical engineering at Anna University. Gokula Priyan, please go ahead. Bhavani, is she online?
Hello. Hi, sir. Can you hear me?
Yes. I'm sorry. I was informed that this was your addressing was missed. Please go ahead, Gokul.
Yes, sir. Sir, my question is, what is the basic knowledge required for manufacturing, sir? And what makes a good manufacturing company?
Basic, manufacturing, there are different kinds. There are manual, semi-automatic, and automatic. Okay. This is called manufacturing. I'm talking of a product, not an agriculture or anything. And it has to be a product for a long time usage. It should not be a vanished product. You make one small one, then the model changes. Even the car people faces very difficulty because there are every 3 months you get a different model and people go for a different model. A second-hand car comes to the market. So your machineries and innovation has to be very compatible to this upgrading. You don't downgrade, upgrading. And to modernize or to compete other competitors. That is a manufacturing sector we have to do that. This is a basic when you invest. Blindly investing somebody who does may lead to failure. Then marketing side also you should see what is the better product you have and what is the specialty of our product. When you say ISI in a AC, we make AC blocks. A lot of people are making. We make RCC pipe, but there are conditions where you can compete or labeling. So when you come under patent quality control, like FSSAI, unless you have a labeling of SSA with a particular trademark, with the MRP, everything with a good quality, you can advertise. So normally we never advertise, and we are never advertised in the newspaper or anywhere for a long time. My products, we never make an advertisement in any of the TV. Normally we spend not even 0.1% in advertising papers or anything, but all products are in the market. This is how. But the quality stands first. The manufacturing, we make small paper clips for a small thing, I am very thankful to Indira Gandhi, but I'm talking of about 30 years back when Indira Gandhi was shown in black and white TV, a bell pin box was on a table. I saw that red color, but it is in a black and white TV. So usage is tremendous, but this product sustainability there, ethics in business is very important. When you make See, 100 clips, how will you make? We don't have an electronic device those days. So small hanging balances has to be given. Like there are 50 girls sitting and holding these balances like this, it's very difficult. And putting 100, how will you put 100? It's very difficult. Or it can be 98 or 91. If you lose more, put more, you tend to lose. If you put less, you come under the what a Weights and Measurement Act. So what my father did, today's batch, you take 101 clips and weigh it in 1 plus. That is a standard. Make it standard. Then you counterbalance. You put whatever the weight balance. So there will be, if you open a box and see, there will be always 100 plus. It cannot be 100 minus. That is a culture he has started. That is I am keeping. So ethics in manufacturing is very important. If there is a sales return, you have to take it and replace all free of cost. You cannot argue with them. There are many rules in MSME has come now. People have to pay within 40 days, or you have to, the company law says, ROC, because, and you will be fined 10,000 rupees 10 times and all this. But where is about the quality? If quality deviates, the end use problem. See, we supply one particular product to aerospace. The quality is very stringent. DRDO, ISRO, they're very stringent. So even when you pick 70% of the product, only 30% will pass on. So we dispatch only that 30%. I can mix and send it and keep quiet. Price number, but we don't do that. It's a long-term relationship we are gaining. And the ID, I remember my agents are third generation, not I'm not third generation agents, still continuing, because we stand by quality, by value of supply chain and faith. And it is all business is done on faith. That is very reason. Not like just.
Now go to the
Yes,
last question for today.
Yes, sir.
You are also involved in running educational institutions, and
Yes, sir.
we are informed that in your schools, each class has no more than 30 students in a class, which is very unique, I would say. What would you say? Related to this, two questions. What would you say should we encourage with schools to be able to better educate our children? And the second part of this question is, how do you feel we should better engage with the next generation so that we continue to guide them in the right way?
Okay, sir. Because even in government schools, there are 1:60, even 120 there with additional teachers. I'm talking about school level, okay? Not college, only the school level. Yes. College, we have, according to government has already fixed a seat. This must, but there are rules, says 1:35 cannot be there more than a kg. And other schools 40, they have. You can have it in the first class to 12th standard. But we restrict to 30 because the ratio has to be 1:35 teacher-student ratio, where you can have a better concentration of the individual student, and the contribution from the students also will be very much developed in getting their high skills, soft skills. As far as the academic year, we are 50% academics here, I believe, and 50% we give non-academic activities. We don't boast. My student is ranking first. Of course, we had a 496, 596 two girls, the first rank. Compared to 599 or 600, doesn't matter. And they are studying, they are very capable. They got the MBBS degree and all this, they gone into alumni. And recently, one alumni has gone leaving today to Brazil, to join Colombia to join the swimming competition. That guy is going. So how we did is, well, we teach different skills. First, we teach the kids to have a kids market. What is the market? The kids will bring all their products, everything they sell in the class, and what is the price of it, how to price it. All this we learn in the standard one. We forget kg. So then we conduct the food fair in the school, and what to eat and what not to eat, which gives the better health, which gives the bad health. Then we teach them the weights and measurements of the. Are you getting seated? Are you paying for the right product? Are you paying as per MRP? What is MRP? When my son, his name is MRP, because wherever my grandson, he goes, first he says, Tata, the MRP is too high, you buy this. That shoes is 640, this is the 590. Immediately will come with the shoes and show me, okay, buy that. So this awareness has to be there for children, because anything, there should not be impulse purchase, like seeing a beautiful car and immediately taking from that is very bad habit. People can see and keep it back. The parents should advise. You should see the lowest of the price. Then the quality will check up as an elderly person. And then we run a lot of village festival. because people see nowadays the kids don't know how to wear a pavada chetta or sari. It's very disorder to say that. Even I have two grandchildren, so I teach them to wear the village traditional dresses and habits and festivals and all this. And we also develop in a program like leadership, extrovert talk we give every week, like spell B or any topic he has to speak. So we give the topic, 5 topics every week, and we select any one side to come to the stage and speak within the class. That's regularly on the 10-minute session. 4 children would speak, a student. That session is going on to develop confidence and remove the shyness in the stage, fear of platform. And then the leadership development, I'll do that. Every month we have different leadership for different category, and the student wear the badges, and he says, "I'm the leader. I'm the student leader of for this month," and he try to achieve something like the president chief. Sir, when you come, you surpass everybody. Am I? The battery is running lower. Power switchboard. Battery, can you hear me, sir?
Yes, please go ahead,
The
Mr.
battery is
Gunasing.
running low. And of course, we teach them charity. We take them to the school of blinds, to the invalid persons here, and also the old age home, and give them with their uniform. They come. We take in the bus, 2 buses, and take them. And we don't pay them. They bring everything from the parents, the contribution from the parents. I remember we helped the students helped through the parents in the tsunami time, and in the Kerala tsunami, they were very well affected. Then Tamil Nadu, then recently you had what do you call the epidemic period. Tons of material went all in, not in cash, all in kind, and helping. And also we respect. And in a entry school, the first school entry, every child wishes by 2 hands. We don't say good morning, all this, only the 2 hands, like this wishes, they do that, even by environment. And also to respect teachers and elders, very, very important. So, and we have a very much unity on among religion and caste. If you have a choir song, everybody will participate. There's no discrimination. Only we select the voice and put them back. So anything. So we don't teach particular religion or particular caste, anything. We are far away from that, and we cannot wear the symbol of this terribly. Then particularly this recently last year, we started a Ulavar Chandai. So how the paddy is cultivated, nobody knows. If you ask a child, nobody, you can know what is a rice. Rice and paddy, they cannot different. They go to the internet. So this time we made the children to sow the seeds 20 days back, then putting it to the sapling into the individual farms, and finally we brought the 30 days, 60 days paddy field, and how it is harvested and all that. We take 120 days to give this, and for a sugar cane it takes almost 11 months to cultivate, and where Valamaran takes 10 months to yield. So you should guard all this, and we give him all this. Every school gives the seed balls. Anything is gift is given as a seed balls. You
This
throw
is
in
very
there,
good,
doesn't.
Mr. Gunasing.
That's how you do it.
Must appreciate this effort that you're doing in your schools,
Yes, sir.
because not only is it important to run successful businesses, but also very important to give back to society. And
Yes.
to be able to run a school and teach good values within the school is very, very important. So must commend you on that.
Thank you, sir.
It's very good that 50% focus is on education and the balance 50% is on the other cultural aspects. So congratulations and wishing you the best. Mr. Gunasing, we have to unfortunately wrap up today's session considering time. I would like to thank you very much for your participation with us.
Thank you, President, and all the audience, and thank you, the Secretary, Vice President, everybody. We hope to meet you soon, sir. Thank you very much for giving a
As a
chance.
token of our
Wonderful.
appreciation, Mr. Gunasing, we would like to give you a memento. But the SICCI 360 team has come up with an innovative way of recognizing our audience. Or actually, before that, we would be sending your photograph to you, and we would appreciate if you can please autograph your photograph and date it with today's date and send it to us so that this can form part of our memorabilia. And as I was saying earlier, we would like to appreciate your presence with us today. So we've taken the opportunity to contribute in your name to the Kanchi Kamakoti Child's Trust Hospital in Chennai. This hospital, I'm not sure if you're aware, it's located in Nungampakam, and it is providing services to children from underprivileged families. So this certificate has come to us from the hospital. So we will be sending this certificate to you at the next available opportunity. as a token of our appreciation of you joining us today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, sir. Thank you, everybody.
I would also like to take this opportunity to thank the SICCI 360 team led by Mrs. Valli Arun, who's president of the Velingro Group. The committee is co-chaired by Professor T. Muragavel, who's head of the Department of SVCE Chennai. Mr. Gokul Santanam is in charge of our marketing. Mr. Amalan Alavandar is in charge of our online chat moderation. Ms. Vilasini Arun is in charge of the student perspective. And of course, the very effective SICCI team led by Mr. Vinod Solomon and coordinated very excellently by Ms. Bhavani Srinivasan. I would like to appreciate them. Without them, we wouldn't be able to have conducted 29 successful sessions and going forward as well. We've already been in touch with the future speakers for future SICCI 360 series. We will be keeping you informed in the course of time. Thank you, Mr. Gunasingh. Thank you, audience,
Thank you,
for
President.
your participation. Thank you for your participation with us. And we wish you all safe times ahead.
Thank you, sir.
You.
Thank you very much. Thank you.